This is a video to help you prepare for facilitating a small group breakout on the Changemakers Triangle. The session should last about 45 minutes. The goal of the session is to help people gain more comfort with the Changemakers Triangle framework. Apply that to real projects they're hearing about, as well as think about how they might apply that framework to projects at home. Ultimately, the goal of the session is to help people develop a comprehensive approach to effecting change on the issues that they care about. Now, since this is a new session that PCP is adding to our summit, we want to take a minute to explain the Changemakers Triangle framework, as well as the panel that will be immediately preceding your breakout session. When we're working to effect change on an issue of importance, we need to take a comprehensive approach. And the Changemakers Triangle is that comprehensive set of activities and approaches to making a difference. And we really think this is one of the things that makes PCP unique. We believe the primary care community in general has taken a fairly narrow approach to effecting change. And the Changemakers Triangle attempts to broaden that approach by using all tools in our toolkits. It's composed of 3 different areas. Firstly, we have events. These are any kind of activity or organized gathering which occur once and are great for building energy, momentum, community, and publicity around an issue. That might look like a rally, a demonstration, a conference, a party, or a speaker where people come together. Basically, they help build community and they help create connection. The second type of activity are awareness or education building events. These projects could come in many forms, but they have to do with educating people around the issues, and they're helpful for building consensus, gathering supporters, and swaying decision makers. That could be a workshop or training, panels that people have, creating and distributing pamphlets, videos, building a website, or other forms of information sharing. Finally, there are advocacy events. These are projects and activities that work to change the rules, the laws, or systems already in place. These are most helpful for concrete legislative change, school policy reform, the start of a new initiative, getting a dean to fund something new. It could be in the form of a petition, a proposal, a letter writing campaign, a referendum, or a town hall where the voices and votes of the community are made clear. In the workshop, we'll be helping people understand that each type of activity has pros as well as cons. So for instance, education events. They're fun to organize and attend. They build enthusiasm and support for a cause. And they're great for recruiting new people to the cause. But on the other side, they really have the smallest overall impact. And frequently, uninformed supporters are less likely to commit in the long term. So bottom line in the workshop, we'll be showing people that each type of event has an important role to play in their efforts to effect change, and that each of us has a tendency to rely on certain types of activities, but that to be truly effective change makers, we're going to need to expand our range and be able to engage all of these different types of approaches. The panel will then highlight different types of projects that actual PCP chapters have engaged in to make a difference, highlighting both their strategies as well as their outcomes. And there'll be a facilitated Q&A period. So your breakout session will immediately follow the panel and give your participants the opportunity to further explore and understand the Changemakers Triangle framework. Apply it to the actual project they just heard about, exploring both the strengths as well as further opportunities for expanding impact, and then think about how they might apply that framework to their projects and activities at home. In terms of materials, you have your facilitator notes, you have your Changemakers Triangle worksheet, and you have sample project descriptions. So over the course of 45 minutes, you're going to first apply the Changemakers Triangle to one of the panelists' projects you just heard about, exploring both the strengths as well as opportunities for expanding impact. You're then going to use that framework to explore the same set of questions on sample projects. And finally, you're going to give people a second to think about how they might apply this at home. So let's dive in. When people first arrive, do a quick check-in and then go over the agenda for the session. Remind people that this isn't about critiquing what they just heard, but rather thinking about strengths and exploring further opportunities for expanding impact. So now you want to remind people of the specific panelist project you'll be focusing on. Ask someone on the team to be the scribe and start a discussion about what are the most important elements that are already incorporated into the panelist project. What are the strengths of how they've approached things? Then discuss what elements they might end up adding to expand the impact. Might they add education? Might they add advocacy? What concretely would that actually look like? This is how that discussion could go. Cool. How's everyone doing?
Great.
Good. Awesome.
Excellent. Wasn't that a great panel?
It was.
Sure was. Fun.
Yeah. Oh my God. Wow. Excellent. So the plan right now is we're going to further explore the Changemakers Triangle framework that we just used and we just heard about. And we're specifically going to apply it to the projects we heard about on the panel, thinking about what elements they already have and what elements they could add. And then we're going to take that same framework and almost do some cases of potential projects that we could do as a PCP chapter. And once again, what elements they already contain, what elements could be added. Now just remember, folks, that this isn't about critiquing the projects we already heard. Those are great projects. Rather, it's about thinking about how do we expand our impact by incorporating some new elements. And we think that's one of the things that makes us unique here at PCP. Okay, so the project that we have been assigned is the primary care innovation panel that Nancy was talking about on the panel. Dana, could you scribe as we talk about it? Awesome. Okay. So let's start with focusing on the elements of the Changemakers Triangle that Nancy's project already has. So what elements are already present?
Well, it's clearly an event.
Yeah, an event brings people together. Great. What else?
Yeah, I mean, education, clearly people are learning.
Yes, great. So event and education. And so what are the strengths in what they're already doing?
Well, it's showcasing innovation and who's doing it, and a lot of people in the audience really learned from it.
Yeah.
It's incredibly inspirational. It sounds like an amazing event, and people seem to be very energized.
Yeah, totally. People hearing about things they probably hadn't heard about before. Mm-hmm. Great. Anything else that's powerful about it or that you'd add?
I thought they were really bringing people together.
Yeah.
Cool.
So networking, community. Yeah, lovely. Okay. Now, what element doesn't seem to be present, if any?
Advocacy. I'm really not seeing or hearing advocacy in that.
Okay. Yeah, I wasn't hearing it either. So what might advocacy look like if we were to expand their approach to change making?
They could approach the curriculum committee and get innovations incorporated in the curriculum. It's a great idea.
Oh, yeah, great. Excellent.
I think they could approach the dean for potentially more funding so more students could attend the innovation conference.
Awesome. That's great. So it sounds you should now ask folks to take out the sample projects descriptions. And you're going to take the same approach you just took to the panelist project to thinking about what are the strengths, what are the common elements each of these cases are using, and how might they expand their impact by incorporating other elements of the Changemakers Triangle. Start out by having each participant work on their own for a minute, writing down their responses, and then pull the group together for a discussion to explore their thoughts. Here's what that might look like. Okay, excellent. So now we're going to apply the Changemakers Triangle to the cases of potential projects. So does everyone have their case worksheet? Great. Mm-hmm. So here's what we do. We look at each case and then we write down the elements of the Changemakers Triangle that are already present and the strength of those. And then the second column is what could be added. So it looks like the first one is interprofessional speed dating, where different students and faculty from different professions are rotating around a room, getting to know each other's professions. So why doesn't everyone take a minute to fill out the what's already there column and the strengths, and then fill out the what could be added column. Take a minute to do that by yourself, look up when you're done, and then let's discuss. All right. So, what elements are already present?
An event, it's clearly an event.
Yeah, definitely. Any other elements that are clearly present? What are the strengths of the existing event?
You know, it sounds really, really fun, something I'd really love to be there for.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, what else?
I thought it was cool that there were different professions coming together and making connections and networking.
Yeah, excellent. Okay. What did you guys write down for what could be added?
You know, I wrote down a panel on interprofessionalism.
Mm-hmm. And what's the element? What's the element that you were thinking of there?
I wrote down advocacy, so approaching a dean to create an interprofessional course, maybe.
Mm-hmm. Great. Anything else that could be added?
You know, I was thinking, like, what about something like a journal club activity where we're thinking about the different roles of the different members of a healthcare team within the context of innovation? Thought that might be interesting.
Excellent. Sounds great. All right, let's move on to case number 2. Now it's time to close this session. Remind folks that the Changemakers Triangle is all about taking a comprehensive approach to effecting change, using all tools in our toolkit. And each type of activity we do has a unique purpose. And what we're hoping folks will do is be very intentional about the types of activities that they choose to do. Finally, as folks are leaving, encourage them to do a homework assignment. They need to have this exact type of conversation and discussion with their colleagues at home about the types of activities they're already doing or they could be doing. What are the strengths? What are the elements of the Changemakers Triangle they're already doing? And how could they expand that to expand their impact?